The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast here. Mikey B, Degenerate here. Week 13 NFL. College football playoff reaction. Fellas, we got a lot to talk about in the show. What's up?
Big starts.
I'll get my wrestling tomorrow. First thing tomorrow. Can't wait. Zachary?
What's going on?
You look tired, buddy. What's up? Working hard?
Always, man. Always.
We got a lot to talk about in the NFL, of course, but I am fired up about the. Should we start there first though? The college football playoff rankings first. We should go there first
because I don't know, you're the host.
Yeah, we'll go there first because I'm let's change up a little bit this week because man, we had a great debate yesterday on the Huddle podcast about the finals. It's gonna be the final 6 before we get to the Selection Sunday. Obviously, if you watching this weekend, your top 4 right now currently, you have 1 Georgia, 2 Michigan, 3 TCU, 4 USC, which no one's surprised by that, just for the record. I think the conversation really is 5 and 6, and that's Ohio State at 5, Alabama at 6. And looking at these teams here and possibilities, you have 1 week left for anything to shake up again. Championship weekend, of course. Safe to say that no matter what happens, Georgia's safe, and Michigan is probably just as safe as Georgia.
Only way Michigan doesn't get in is if they lose by 50 to fucking Purdue.
And even then, they have the Ohio State win to.
If you lose by 50 your conference title game, you probably shouldn't fucking playoffs.
And in that case, you put Alabama in my opinion. Sure. Neither team is deserving in that. That's at least in my opinion.
For Purdue is definitely not getting in. That's
right. TCU at 3 now. They moved to 1 spot. I feel like the committee is kind of inching them up a little bit now to make sure they're a little bit snug. They have a little bit more margin of error. A little bit, I would say, like if they lose this weekend to K-State in a Big 12 championship game, rather, that style points will matter. If they lose in a close one to a top 10 team, according to the rankings, of course, that they might still survive and maybe be a number 4 team in the top 4 team in the playoff selection Sunday by then. What do you guys look at the TCU and their margin of error?
They lose by less than 1 score, they're still in, even as the 4th seed.
Zach, what do you think about TCU and their odds of it?
Yeah, I would venture it's closer to. They can't lose by more than a field goal and still make it.
Do you think is it because of what you think, or do you think it's because of the trust of or distrust of the committee? Like for me, the committee has a hard on for Ohio State and Alabama, know how you slice it. And if they find any way to shoehorn those 2 schools in there, and we discussed on the podcast last week about that, and they're going to try to do that. To my chagrin, for the record.
Look, I personally don't believe the committee has any respect for conference championships outside of the Big Ten and the SEC. I don't think they give two shits about a Pac-12 team or a Big 12 conference.
Or ACC?
Conference champion. Or an ACC, all right? You can't tell me the ACC is so great that Clemson, if they were to win the ACC championship and either the 3 or 4 seed loses, that they could jump over 2 teams, specifically one in Alabama, who has lost by 4 total points in less than 5 total seconds. I do not believe the committee would ever put a Clemson team with 2 losses ahead of an Alabama team. But if TCU wins, they're in.
Right.
If USC wins, they're in. If USC loses, I believe there's even a chance Alabama with 2 losses would jump over into Ohio State and go into to that fourth seed.
So basically, USC is the most vulnerable team of obviously the four.
What, by a field goal, maybe.
So,
if TCU loses by more than a field goal, I think they're out.
Okay,
if USC loses by 1 point, they're out. So what? I'm splitting hairs by 2 extra points.
Mike, you disagree with that? At least I can see there.
I don't get how you take a 2-loss Alabama team, whether they lost by 4 points, 9 points, your point, my point, 5 seconds, 11 seconds, 85 seconds. 2 losses is 2 losses. You have a TCU team that's beaten 5 ranked teams that when they played them. By the way, beat a fucking Texas team that Alabama barely squeaked by a point. Where you're potentially staring at a third Alabama loss. Something that Nick Saban probably would have committed suicide by week 4 if that was the fucking case. Let's fucking be real here. But by the way, TCU beat them. TCU's beaten 5 ranked opponents. You know, something that the vaunted SEC, you know, is the only conference in the world where teams are ranked, according to the mainstream media.
And I saw a stat too, also that TCU has of all the 6 teams, they have the strongest strength of schedule of the 6 teams, including Georgia and Michigan.
I'm sorry. They don't play in the SEC, so nobody cares, according to people.
That's correct.
But guess what? 2-loss Alabama is not playing for a national title.
And the committee doesn't care. If TCU loses on Saturday, they can kiss it goodbye.
And Alabama has played a total of 5 ranked opponents and are 3-2 against them. It's real easy. It's real easy when you load up your schedule with Utah State, University of Louisiana Monroe. I'm sorry. That's in their conference. Oh, I'm sorry. The second to last week of the season before you played Auburn in your fucking your rivalry game, you lined up Austin Peay.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm having a problem with too. Also with Alabama, for all the talk about Alabama's 2 losses and 4 points, all that. Where are their quality wins?
Oh, by the way, that vaunted Alabama defense, they gave up 52 points to Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, where are the quality wins?
Here it is. I found it on the road at Ole Miss after losing to Brian Kelly and basically trying to save your season. Oh, I'm sorry. The 30-6 win against Mississippi State. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the 55 drumming of Vanderbilt.
I think Ole Miss is the biggest quality win of the year. Ole Miss.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, I found 20 team in the country.
Quality win. 24-20 over Texas A&M. Wow.
That's not quality win. They're not even good right now.
I know, but they just beat LSU. So, you know, via the degrees of the Nick Saban laws,
right?
Because everyone wants to suck his dick. Because Texas A&M beat LSU, who needed a 2-point conversion to beat Alabama,
and that right there, right?
Quality win.
And that right there is why we can sit there and shit on Ohio State, who they've not played. Let's be real here; they have better quality wins than Alabama does. It's not even close. Look, we may not agree that Penn State should be a top 10 team in the rankings.
Penn State is definitely not the number 8 team in the
No, I completely agree with you on that one. But as I told Kyle last night, if you're not putting them there, which I agree,
I told you who I would have there. I would have Clemson ahead of fucking Penn State. I would have Kansas State ahead of Penn State. I'd have fucking Utah ahead of Penn State.
Right.
Penn State got the doors blown off of them by Michigan and lost a really bad game to Ohio State.
Penn State is still at least a top 15 team, and even them being top 15 is better than what Alabama's beaten this year. And that's my point. They still have that to weigh, and Notre Dame game also too as well. Look, I agree. Notre Dame hasn't played. Ohio State hasn't played shit this year. No one disagrees with that at all. And that Michigan loss looks really bad. But if we're talking about Alabama, Ohio State by themselves, Ohio State has better quality wins.
If Michigan and Ohio State didn't play the last week of the regular season, and this game was like the 3rd game of the season, Ohio State would potentially be ahead of USC because they would have had the ability to rebound against Penn State.
Correct.
They would have ran the rest of the table in the Big Ten. At the end of the day, it's where you lose at this point, and when you lose, that is the problem, not how you lose. At the end of the day, Alabama lost 2 games, gave up 52 points to Hendon fucking Hooker.
Yeah.
but they
Zack?
did it in the middle of November. So they ran off 5 or 6 wins afterwards. So it's like,
Right.
oh, it doesn't look as bad now.
How many times has Alabama been to the Final Four?
What does that matter in 2022 though?
No. How many times?
No. How many times? What does that matter?
Every single time.
Well, what does it matter?
Ohio State's been there all but once. What do
What
you
does it
think
matter?
the committee and the media will do? They will make
Nothing.
sure
Nothing, because
one
the
of
four
those
teams are
two
going to win.
schools is ahead of your sorry ass Clemson, your sorry ass Kansas State. All right, they will put one of those two schools in the Final Four if TCU or
And it is
USC lose. It's that simple.
Ohio State. It's it.
Are you
Then put Ohio State or Alabama.
Close the door, sing a lullaby, tell Nick Saban to enjoy his fucking New Year's Six Bowl where he goes and plays in the Cotton Bowl where nobody's going to give a fuck because they're going to be preempted for some Good Housewives thing because the playoff games are going to start at 8 o'clock.
The only thing I'll agree with Zack on that statement is this: is that the committee has a heart of Alabama and they'll find any way to do it, which is really fucked up.
You can't find a way. You put yourself behind the 8 ball. You put a one-loss team that isn't playing for its conference title ahead of a team that's not playing for its conference title with 2 losses. At the end of the day, your 5 teams that could play for 5.5. We'll go 5.5. The 4 that are there, Ohio State, and if they want to get frisky, fucking Clemson if they win by 3 scores. I said it before the show started.
Clemson is out.
Holy shit, can I get my point out?
Go ahead.
You sat here and stroked Nick Saban's dick for the last fucking 5 minutes.
I've been quiet the whole fucking time while you ranted and ranted and ranted.
All right, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Make a point about Clemson.
I'm sorry. Why are we going to penalize a conference champion that did their job? 8-0 in conference, get to a conference title game, win by 21. Guess what? Guess who's not playing this week? Ohio State and Alabama. You want to know why? Because they didn't win the games that they were supposed to, but they could really beat the Austin Peays and the Toledos of the world.
I'm going to put it to you very simple. All right. That committee is made up of people, and people have agendas and they have beliefs. And they do not have any faith in Clemson, or they would have put Clemson ahead of Alabama in the rankings.
They could, though. So they were behind them anyway, even before the week.
How?
What do you think? They were number 8 last week and not number 9. Was it 7 last week?
If you like something, your committee can vote them up.
How can you vote a team up that loses this week? They lost to South Carolina this week.
So again, you think they should jump Alabama?
I
or
think
Ohio State.
5th, 6th, and 7th and 8th team in the nation are not playing fucking games this weekend.
I just told you no one's going to care about Clemson. And you brought up how they lost by a shit.
So the only reason
that is exactly why the people on the committee won't give a shit.
The reason why Clemson,
the committee that's built of ACC fucking people, go back and play the clip from the Huddle Up podcast where Kyle Nash tells you every member of the committee that's part of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
So the reason why the Clemson thing is interesting, though, because the committee has said in the past that conference championships do matter, and they weigh that when they make decisions on this stuff. Now, look, I don't think Clemson's going to get regardless, but we can't ignore the possibility, even if it's a 1% chance that they could consider it, assuming that USC loses or TCU loses or they both lose, that Clemson wins and that beats North Carolina for the AC title. That okay? Do they really consider a Power 5 school that won a big conference championship? But at the same time, there's no precedence for 5 spots like that to jump into the playoff. That's the thing. I think the committee themselves, what they did here was they set themselves up for Ohio State to get in if anything happens, because by putting Penn State number 8, even though we all agree probably that they don't deserve to be number 8 in the country, they set it up well where that's the excuse. Okay, USC loses to Utah on Saturday. Penn State gets the 4th spot on Sunday. Well, they have a quality win against Penn State. That weighs higher than whatever Alabama has. That weighs higher than whatever other school Clemson has or whatever it may be. So they already set it up for Ohio State being the number 4 team in the event USC loses. Even though Penn State does not deserve to be number 8 in the country. Let's be fucking real.
So, Ernest, you keep going back to if USC loses. You don't believe Ohio State will slide into the number 4 seed if TCU were to lose?
I think in TCU's case, it's about style points. If TCU loses a close game, I'm a little more confident they'll be number 4. Ohio State may actually jump. No, granted.
So why would TCU, who won't be a conference champion, it'll be a conference loser, jump ahead of an Ohio State team?
Play the schedule. They have the strongest schedule of any team in the top 6, including Georgia and Michigan.
So essentially, you're saying even if TCU loses, they can't even drop.
I'm a little confident. I'm a little more confident about it now because they went at number 3. Now, that being said, do I, Ernest Christian, trust the committee? Fuck no. And in fact, I still have to give it a 50-50 shot that, let's say TCU and USC both lose on Saturday. I got at least consider 50-50 chance that Bama and Ohio State both get in just because of the hard-on they have for those 2 schools. It's not right, but the committee has shown in the past that they don't give a fuck about what we think.
Yes, because they've put Alabama, who didn't even play in a conference championship.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Them in before over an Oklahoma team who won a Big 12.
4 years ago. Yeah.
So I can certainly see it happening again.
But TCU has played
a conference champion.
But the argument for TCU to remain up there, even if they lose in a close game against Kansas State, is that they have a tougher schedule than all 6 schools. Now, will the community give a fuck about that also too? We shall see. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll see on Selection Sunday. I mean, look, me personally,
we'll see when all 4 teams run the table and we don't have to sit through fucking.
Exactly. I think we're gonna go chalk.
Ohio State anymore.
Well, we're going chalk. We're going chalk on Saturday, I believe. Mike, you agree with that, right?
I hope fucking so, because I want to see TCU and fucking USC, and before I have to worry about fucking Nick Saban and fucking the ghost of Urban Meyer.
Right, 100% with you. I hate both Alabama and Ohio State, so I don't want it to happen. You think we're going to talk, right?
I just want it to happen so that we never have to hear about how Alabama's made every fucking playoff.
Yeah,
mean something in the 2022 season. I mean, I'm good. I'm good on that.
Yeah. Zach, are we going chalk this weekend too, also, or you think something's gonna happen?
I think something's happening, man.
Which game are you looking at? That's potential.
Oh, I would actually look at both. I would look at both teams being upset.
Well, I'll tell you what. The reason I can't say you're wrong.
It's because he wants both Ohio State and Alabama.
Well, I mean, maybe he wants chaos, but at the same time, though, let's be real.
No, he's proven it that he believes that Ohio State and Alabama are the 2 best teams in the country, and he wants them to play in the I don't give a fuck bowl. And where he gives a fuck.
So let me ask.
Go ahead.
Who's USC playing?
USC's playing Utah.
And what happened when they played earlier this season?
Utah won, right?
Exactly. So you're going to tell me they can't win again. And then you're telling me how great Kansas State is, how they should be possibly top 8, how they can't pull off an upset of TCU. That's why I'm telling you.
Oh, it could.
Chance both could lose.
The same Kansas State team that lost to TCU earlier this year by 10. Right? But the argument was, who would you have ranked ahead of Penn State? This is me telling you that the committee is wrong.
I think Georgia lose to Alabama in the SEC championship, and then Georgia winning the national title too. So you can come back from a loss in the same year.
It could happen. I don't see it happening. I'm predicting that we will chalk this weekend.
Okay,
that's my prediction. But what you're saying is that. But what you're saying though about possibilities is it's a lot higher than people give credit for.
Yeah, I'm going.
So, all right, let's get to before we get to week 13 picks. Mikey, give me your bottom 5 for this week in the NFL.
Oh, hold on. Let me get to it real quick.
All right, Dakota.
My bottom 5, the Texans are last because
Kyle
Allen. Denver Broncos, the Los Angeles Rams, the Chicago Bears, and the New Orleans Saints.
Okay, Zachary, going for Shiga. You like that bottom 5?
I like his bottom 4. I'd put the Panthers in at 5.
They just
because
Ravens? Or no, they played the Ravens tough and then beat who? Who they play this week?
They beat Denver.
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
Because they have 3 quarterbacks instead of 1.
So we do have the same 5, Mike. The only difference is between I have 29-30, swapping those two. I have Rams at 29, Chicago at 30. Otherwise, you have the same bottom 5. So I like it. A lot of people are saying to me that Houston should, Denver should be number 32. The reason why I don't have that is because Denver does have 2 more wins, and they did beat Houston this year. That has to
I'm
have
not
something in
even
these rankings.
necessarily saying the fact that they have more wins. It's like there's nothing that Houston's done in the last 3 weeks to prove that they're within a fighter's chance of even wanting to play football games. They had like 14 total yards of offense against the Commanders in the first half, and they gave up 30 to Tua Tagovailoa in the fucking first half against fucking the Dolphins this week.
Mm-hmm.
Their best fight was the fact that they scored 15 in the second half and held the fucking Dolphins to nothing.
All right, give me 6 to 10.
At 10, give me the goddamn Jets.
Mm-hmm.
At 9, I have the Baltimore Ravens. At 8, I have the Minnesota Viking experience.
Mm-hmm.
At 7, I have Ernest's favorite team in the fucking football league. Give me the San Francisco 49ers.
In 6.
Miami Dolphins.
All right, so we agree on most of this up for number 7. I have the exact order.
We definitely don't agree on fucking 6 and 7.
Well, 6. I had Miami at 6 too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm 6. I mean,
had them higher.
I had Dallas higher than that. I agree with you on everything but 7. Zachary, any problem with this 6 to 10?
Well, I'd put Washington at 10.
At this point, they're climbing closer. I'm not saying they're going to be there yet, but they're climbing.
We're 5-1 in our last 6 games. How many other teams in the league are 5-1 in their last 6 games?
Well, Dolphins won 5 in a row.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles, okay. Dolphins.
There are not 10 teams in the league who are 5-1 over the last 6.
Yeah.
But there are 10 teams that I would pick to beat the Commanders if they played today.
I will say I wouldn't do. Obviously, I didn't put Washington on my top 10. I will say though, you can make a case from maybe next week or so if they continue winning games. They are playing some good football right now with Heineke at quarterback. But yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I agree with most of this year. Obviously, you and I have issues when it comes to the Niners. You know how I am on the Niners this year. So
yeah, because that fucking vaunted offense scored 13 points against the great New Orleans Saints defense. It took Alvin Kamara fumbling more in this game than he has in any other game probably in his entire career.
All right, give me
nothing.
Oh, Zach, I had by the way, I had the same 5 except for 7. I had the Bengals. All right, so top 5.
At number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. At 4, I have the Dallas Cowboys. At 3, I have the Buffalo Bills. At number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs, and at number 1, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and again, for me, I have Philly 1, KC 2. I had Dallas at 5, Buffalo 4, and San Fran at 3. Zachary, what do you think about Mike's 5 here?
It's a little better than yours.
Okay.
Honest to God, I think you're both wrong about who's number 1. Kansas City's best team in the league. I don't care about records. If you were to put any team up against any team, I'd take Kansas City beat anybody.
God, I can't wait for this week then, whenever Cincinnati beats them for the 3rd time in fucking 2 years. That means Cincinnati's number 1 in your power ranking next week.
I can't wait for Cincinnati to lose by 2 scores.
Please.
We're getting there. Save it. We're getting there.
Take them completely out the top 10.
We're getting there. Picks time.
You know what? You guys did this same shit last year. What happened? All right.
You already heard my pick last night on the huddle up on that game.
Mike, I'm just telling you. Y'all did the same shit last year. You disrespected the fuck out of us. All we did was beat the Titans on the road.
I did.
Chiefs on the road. And made the fucking Super Bowl.
I did. I own that. I own that mistake, obviously. All right, let's get to the Week 13 picks. You got 2 teams in December on buys. You got the Cardinals and the Panthers. Which team needs it more? I mean, they both suck anyway, but Which team needs it more?
I think the Cardinals need it more because I think the Panthers were actually having like momentum. They looked good with Sam Darnold playing quarterback.
Yeah. Zach?
I think Cliff Kingsbury's got to decide whether or not to put his house up for sale.
I think that's happening, actually, to be honest with you. All right, here we go. Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. We got the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. The Bills are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. Obviously, no Von Miller for a few weeks for the Bills, maybe longer.
Here we go with fucking Von Miller being the fucking all in your coffee.
Let me say this, though, about Buffalo. Those last two games, granted, they play Cleveland, they play Detroit. But under those conditions of traveling and all that, and because of the snowstorm in Buffalo, and then going on a short week of Thanksgiving, and that show me something. Give me Buffalo here. I think Buffalo wins this game outright, and they cover the spread here. I think Buffalo is due for a hey, we're still here kind of game here. So give me Buffalo to cover the 3.5 points. Zach, what you got?
Well, I had to win huge because Buffalo needs to come out and say, look, we're here to play. It's Super Bowl or bust for us. So, yeah, I take them to cover.
All right. Michael.
Who had the most fright last week?
Hit the most what? Zach did.
Okay.
We all did well, but Zach had 10.
Before we moved on.
So I apologize. Zach had 10 wins. You and I have a 9, Mike.
So that's 2 weeks in a row, and you still haven't won. You're a fucking loser, Ernest.
I won 2 weeks. Wait, that's right. I didn't win 2 weeks. Right?
You lost.
I won the first week.
Fuck you, Zach. Go ahead, Mike. Kind of 5, 6, 7.
The amount of tables that'll be broken in the first half by Bills Mafia. Also, probably the number of touchdown passes that Josh Allen can have in this game. Give me the fucking
defense.
I'm sorry. Defense? Can we stop talking about how great of a game they had against the goddamn Jets with Zach Wilson? Literally, you're playing a quarterback with a fucking pulse.
Yeah.
Give me the Bills by probably at least 10.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, to the Sunday, we got the Steelers, yeah. Steelers at Falcons. It's a pick 'em.
This game sucks.
Ugh, I'll tell you about it. To pick 'em, over under 42 points. I am going to go. Because Mariota, you know what? Give me an under here. Fuck it, give me an under. Zach, what you got?
I want to take the rushing over for the season. These two teams combined should set the most rushing yards in a game this season. But give me Atlanta to cover this.
Okay, Michael?
Probably no Najee Harris. Jalen Warren is probably a game-time decision, which means we're going to see a potential running back matchup of Cordell Patterson versus Benny Snell.
Benny Snell was fucking awesome in college.
That's college.
Glad he graduated 8 years ago. Give me the fucking front guns.
All right, we got Packers at Bears. Packers are 4.5-point favorites. Over under 43.5. I'm assuming no Justin Fields this week either for the Bears. I'm assuming. Look, if the Packers can beat the Bears without fucking Justin Fields and all those injuries, what are we doing here? Give me Green Bay. Give me in a somewhat get right game.
Are we sure that Aaron Rodgers?
He's playing.
Like, I get it. He says he's going to play, but
yeah.
Does he even want to play?
I think he doesn't until they're mathematically eliminated from the play.
And that's it. I think they're gonna wait this out to once they eliminate out from contention, and then they'll pull them. Packers win this game and cover. Zach,
give me the under in the game. It's going to be a bad game to watch.
All right. I mean, Aaron does own the Packers, own the Bears rather. If this is a game that he can turn things around, this is what the game he would do that. But we'll see. Mike.
Can't ever pick Trevor Siemian ever. Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, your dad, my dad, Captain Kangaroo. I don't give a fuck. Give me the Packers.
All right. Next up, kind of an intriguing game here, actually. The two frisky teams that had come to the year in each conference. Yes, and it is the Jaguars and the Lions, actually.
Mitchell Trubisky over here.
Trubisky, that's right. Pick 'em here. Over under 51.5. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think what we've seen from Trevor Lawrence last 3 weeks, is this the turning point? Like, yeah, he's finally arrived. I know Zack wasn't big on Trevor Lawrence coming to the draft anyway, as it is, but these last 3 weeks has been phenomenal, and he was fantastic against Baltimore on Sunday against Zack's Ravens, of course.
He was phenomenal, or was he phenomenal in the fourth quarter when the Ravens defense literally always quits playing?
He had a 130 passer rating on Sunday.
Came from 9 down.
Did his job.
Marcus Peters is a fucking shell of himself.
Yes, he is.
All Trevor Lawrence has proven so far is at his very, very best is he's 15th. He's average in this league. That's what he is.
Well, I'm going to go over on this one.
I would almost tell you right now, I would take 2022 Trevor Lawrence over 2022 fucking Russell Wilson.
Oh, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, but 2022 Russell Wilson is literally trash. He's 32nd.
No, Davis Mills / Kyle Allen is 32nd, and it's not even fucking close.
Well, in any case, give me over in that game. Zach, what you got in this one? It feels mortgagey too, by the way. I mean, mortgage this one over.
This one hurts my heart in so many ways because I hate both these teams. I can't really say that out loud. Family's here. But I guess, you know what? I think Trevor Lawrence. So give me the over in the game.
Yep. I think that's a mortgage bet, actually. An over on this. Jags offense is playing much better the last couple of weeks. Lions offense is always pretty good. They should be able to cover that spread. Mike, what you got?
KC and the Sunshine Band.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, next one.
I mean, even if Travis Etienne doesn't play, fucking whoever, Agnew and Hastings and everybody else, all they did was beat fucking Lamar Jackson and the fucking Baltimore Ravens, team that was in the top 10. No big deal. And we're worried about if they're going to be able to beat the goddamn Lions.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next one here we have the Jets at Vikings. Vikings are 3-point favorites, over under 44.5. If the Vikings win this game, they are clinching a playoff spot. And first of all, they win the division, the NFC North.
If the Lions lose.
Okay.
The Lions have to lose. The Lions have to lose.
So it's a combination of them winning plus
Vikings
Lions
win and Lion loss clinches the North.
The division. Okay. In any case, I did say my lock of the week on Huddle Up was that they're gonna clinch, they're gonna win the division. So in that case, give me the Vikings to cover. It is the 1:00 game also for Kurt. What do you call him? Kurt coupons? Whatever. It's coupons, Michael.
Curtis Montague Coupons III Esquire.
In any case, give Minnesota to win this game outright in the cover. I do question though the Mike White thing and the Jets. I think Zach Wilson's Jets career is over. Not so much because of Mike White, but those teammates on the Jets and the way they reacted last week. Like, it wasn't that Zach Wilson was playing bad. We knew he was playing bad, but his reaction to how he played bad in the press conference last week, okay, I think that's why he got benched more than anything else, not because of his play. And then you see the reaction to his teammates. Elijah Moore was literally on the trading block a month ago, and all of a sudden now he has a new lease on life. That's a bad sign. And the guys that are talking in the Jets locker room are not just like guys that are about to be free agents next year and going to be going away or retiring. No, these are guys that are rookies and second-year guys who are the core of that team for the next couple of seasons. Yeah, Zach Wilson's done in New York. In that case, give me Minnesota to win this game and to cover 3 points. Zach, what you got?
Give me Mike White.
Ooh.
And my real question is, because when we did the pre-drafts and all this on quarterbacks, none of us watched games and said, oh, Zach Wilson's going to be special. No one watched his workout and said, oh, he's going to be special. I want to know what NFL execs really looked at and saw in him where he was special. He couldn't complete 60% of his passes in college. He's small as fuck and played no quality schools. And he was injury prone while at college. Like, what made him the number 2 overall pick?
Lost to Coastal Carolina, by the way.
Did he?
Still strong though. They know
The
how to recruit.
CC guy here, Zach.
So,
You got a Jets, huh, Zachary?
yeah, give me
All
Mike.
right, Mike White. I like that. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, it's Kirk Coupons. It's the fucking Viking experience. Really, like, we're doing this? And by the way, can you stop fucking disrespecting him by going, oh, it's a fucking 1 o'clock game. I can pick Kirk Coupons now.
I'm just playing around.
Okay.
I mean, the narrative.
The narrative in itself.
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you.
The narrative is true though.
But it's a sample.
Okay.
It's too big of a sample not to be true at this point.
Yeah, and here's the other narrative. Tom Brady's won 6 Super Bowls, and people don't have him as the greatest of all time.
People are stupid.
Yeah, people are stupid for thinking that Kirk Cousins plays defense and offensive line and wide receiver. It's like saying that Lamar Jackson has blown 4 double-digit leads this year in a contract year. He don't play defense. He doesn't sign the wide receivers that keep getting hurt. Rashad Bateman, I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
but we're here doing it.
No, I stand on. I'm a Kirk guy. I stand. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He does have to win big games going forward, though.
I think he's 12th, 13th at but.
Okay, we can have that conversation, of course, but like I said, he doesn't suck. Let's be clear about that. All right.
Hey, I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is as good as so. Hey, there's my prop to Cousins today.
All right, here we go. It's you and me, Zach. It's the Commanders and the Giants. Washington by 1 point is favored by 1 point. Over under 40.5. I already said the Giants, they're in trouble because I said 3 weeks ago on the podcast that before we hit the stretch of games against Dallas, Washington twice, Philadelphia twice, Minnesota, Indy, you have to bake the wins early that you can. That 2-game stretch against Detroit and against Houston, I said it. People say, "Oh, you're fucking nuts. They'll be okay." I said the must wins because I feel better with this team at 8-2 as opposed to 7-3 going into that stretch. Now you're 7-4. Okay, lose to Detroit, lose to Dallas now, and the only good thing for the Giants right now, is that there aren't a lot of teams below them vying for that 7th spot. It's really Washington, and then Seattle, whatever they do, But to me, the Giants blew opportunity here. Had they won the 8th game against Detroit, I feel a lot better about the chance of going to the playoffs now. But now I'm on the fence. But again, the only saving grace is that there's very little teams right now in that wild card picture vying for those last spot or 2. That being said, give me the under on this game. Zach.
Give me the over just so I can root against you and root for my team at the same time. Because I can't root an under and root for my team because then you're always rooting for a score. So give me the over against you.
You want to hate you right now, Zach? Go ahead, Mike.
Our seasons are on the line in my idea.
Of course they are. Yeah. It's that time, brother.
Yours especially because you're at home this week. So
they have to split against Washington the rest of the way. The 6 games ago, they got to split against Washington at least. Okay. You have to be Indy. And then you better pray week 18 against Philadelphia, the Eagles are locked up in a 1 seed.
I honestly only see one more win for Washington after this. I see a split between us 1-1. And then I only see one more victory for Washington. So
we'll see what happens. Michael, where you at in this one?
The lock of the week was the Commodores. I'm going to stay with the Commodores.
All right. We got this is a fairly decent game here. We got the Titans at Eagles. Eagles are 5-point favorites, over under 44.5. This is a tough one, actually, because Tennessee, look, they're not great, but they're a good team. They're a solid team. They're a top 10-ish team. Okay, they obviously they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. They might finally win a playoff game, but they're a solid team, and they'll show up here, I think. But I think the bet here is the under on this one. I'm taking the under on here. Zach, what you got?
I'm taking Tennessee plus the points.
Okay. So you believe in the Philadelphia's fading hype now?
Not that they're fading. I just see, two good teams playing. Maybe it'll be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
All right. Michael, what you got this one?
I'm going to go with the under as well.
Sneaky game this week, actually. 2 playoff contenders. All right. Oh, God. Here we go. Broncos at Ravens. Ravens are 10-point favorites. Over under 38.5.
Okay, I get it. The Broncos suck, but 10.5?
I'm more like thinking I've never seen a defense need to play a team so bad. Because this is the one game, even when Baltimore quits playing defense, they don't have to worry about Denver's offense even trying.
I feel like if Baltimore won last week against Jacksonville, this line would be justified.
Hey, Ernest.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
134 to 121.
Dude, we don't here's what it is. No Jimmy Knight either, too. So that was a baked-in loss anyway.
96-year-old Jimmy Butler is going to make a hell of a lot of difference.
He hasn't played in like 3 weeks now. So, give me the under in this one too. I don't see a lot of scoring here. I see another Carolina Baltimore-ish. Not as bad as that 13-3 game was, but I can see that this game being in that ilk. Maybe a 20-10, 20-13 type of thing. So, yeah, give me the under in this one. Denver's defense is still really good. I mean, let's be clear about that. But they just can't score points for shit. But the Ravens need this game bad, though. They do. Like, I want to say the Ravens to cover this 10 points because they lost last week against Jacksonville. But that defense. Look, 4 games, they've blown leads by 10 points or more in the fourth quarter. They should be unbeaten right now. Give me the under in this game. Zach, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, Lamar should be going to payday loans and taking out some money because he should be getting paid real soon.
Yeah, it's not his fucking fault that they're losing games. He's not even doing anything wrong. I don't know. What you got, Zach? You got Baltimore?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike.
Broncos country. Let's cover.
That's where it ends, right? He's nobody else taking the Broncos to win this game.
Guaranteed the Ravens cover. Thank you.
See, here's the thing. I'm not taking them to win the game, but there's some film on a corner that plays for the Baltimore Ravens that got burnt like fucking toast last week. That if they don't give him some goddamn help, Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton could actually have decent games behind a fucking shit defense. This is a prove it game this is a get right game for the Baltimore Ravens defense. If it doesn't get right now, you're in a fucking hell of a lot of trouble.
You're absolutely right. Totally agree with you on that one. All right, here we go. It is the Deshaun Watson Bowl. We have the Browns at Texans.
Why don't we just call this the eatabagadicks.com Bowl?
Browns are 7.5-point favorites, over under 47 points. Of course, I just said that because this is the first game with Deshaun Watson as a Brown after suspension, also against his former team. I think he'll be very rusty in this game. I think Houston also, they have their moments where they'll have a bad game here, but they'll be frisky another week and all that. I'm taking Houston the points here, to be honest with you. I think Cleveland wins this game, but Houston's going to keep this game relatively close. I think Deshaun's going to have a rusty game, honestly. I don't see him playing well. Zach, what you got?
I don't care how rusty he plays. Did you not see how bad Houston was with Kyle Allen?
They fought back in the second half of that Dolphin game. They fought.
They weren't even trying the Dolphins. They were talking to Skylar Thompson, being like, "Dude, please just don't throw an interception." that was the only game plan. Just don't throw an interception.
I would have laughed so hard if he would have thrown a pick six and it was like 30-22, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, we got to put the starters back out there now."
Yeah, right.
And then Tua throws one, and then you're like, "What the fuck did we just do?"
Mm-hmm. You guys, so Zach, you taking the Browns?
Absolutely.
All right, Mike.
What was the over under?
Over under is 47.
Ooh, that's high.
It is kind of high.
Under, because I truly think that Jacoby Brissett will play snaps in this game because of how bad Deshaun Watson is rusty.
Okay. When we last saw him in preseason, he looked like shit. This is the record.
Well, it's nice of Roger Goodell to suspend him for however many weeks and then give him a preseason game to start his fucking season.
Yeah, but he's been allowed to practice with the team for like 3 weeks now.
By the way,
it's real nice that they gave him a preseason game in the middle of the fucking NFL season.
I don't think there's going to be as much rust because of how much time he's been allowed to practice. But.
By the way, going back to the Heat and Celtics game, fucking Tatum dropped 49 tonight. Jesus. MVP. He's MVP right now, in my opinion. MVP.
That was a guy you didn't even think was top 10 last year. Look at you.
No. That wasn't me.
You.
That was Chris.
That was
not
you.
me. I had number 8 last year. What are you talking about?
I had to defend putting him into the top 10 again.
I had number 8 last year going to the year. What are you talking about?
No, you didn't.
We did podcasts on this last spring. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just gonna let you guys just keep bickering because at the end of the day, people still think that fucking LeBron James is the top 15 player.
No, he's not. He's not. No, Zach doesn't think so. Zach was on that wagon for 2 years now. Anyway, we got Seahawks and Rams. Seahawks are 8.5-point favorites. Over under 41. What's that called?
We should just call this the Hoover Bowl because it's gonna suck.
Yeah, suck wind. I mean, Seattle has to win this game, number 1. Let's start there. But yeah, fuck it. Give me Seattle win this. If they can't win and cover this game, and now Aaron Donald's hurt, right?
This is his first game of his career.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Salute to that guy, man. Seriously. Give me Seattle in this game. They should win this game one away, honestly. All right, Zach, what you got?
Give me Seattle to cover, and I don't even think it's going to be close.
Right. But by Mike, as you see a pick, Sasha Banks was at the game tonight, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just saw the alert.
No, obviously no Aaron Donald. Confirmed that that Matt Stafford's probably not going to play, which means we either have John Stafford or Studholm or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, or Bryce Perkins again. So I think it's a pretty easy one. Give me the ghost of Sierra's husband's past. Give me War Sea Chickens because goddamn Rams are going to be god awful.
All right, possibly game of the week. These next two will be the games of the week, actually. We got Dolphins at Niners. Niners are 4-point favorites, over under 46.5. All right, obviously the Dolphins are one of the hottest teams in the league. As I said, they're not my Super Bowl bubble just yet, but this game can change that conversation for me anyway. Their next 3 games are tough, so we're going to learn a lot about the Dolphins in the next 3 weeks. Because these are the games where we really see, okay, is this a Super Bowl contender? We know they're a playoff contender at this point now, but are they a Super Bowl contender? It starts here. I think they'll lose this game. Let's start there.
Do you think the 49ers will lose?
I think the Dolphins will lose this game.
Okay.
The West Coast and all that. But it'll be a close one. I'm taking the under in this one. Let's see a defensive battle here between these two teams, actually. I think the Niners trying to slow it down the offense, the Dolphins' offense a little bit, and try to muck it up a little bit. Give me under this one. Zach, what you got?
I'm going to double dip here because I need to throw you a bone.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Dolphins and the over. I'll let you pick, but I'm going to go 100 on that. I think the Dolphins beat your 49ers. And this is going to be a real high score.
I love you said that by 49ers. I'm rooting for Dolphins win this game. We talk about motherfucker. I hate the Niners. You know that.
How do you hate them when you have them like top 3, top 4 every week?
Well, I mean, I'm just giving an analysis here. I hope they lose this game, but
your analysis sucks.
Sometimes it does. So which one should I give you, Zach? Which one should I give you?
Which one would hurt you more?
Would hurt me.
As far as these picks.
The over, because at the end of the day, he took the under. So
Okay.
if it hits the over, then he can't win it all. If the
Give me the
Dolphins
over.
win,
I think I'll have the over covered by the third quarter. Early third quarter.
Okay, Michael, what you got?
all right, I gotta do some math real quick. Hold on.
That's win this game.
So when you score 13 points against the Saints, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's not a great thing.
When you score 30 in the first half against the Texans, but then give up 15 in the second half, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
I don't think scoring 0 points and giving up 15 in the second half is ever good. Earnest's stat about the fucking Niners not giving up more than 0 points the last 3 second halves will end tragically in this game, as I think the Dolphins will score in the second half. Therefore, I'm going to go with Zack here. I'm going to take the over, because here's the thing. That Dolphin offense can score at will whenever it's firing on all cylinders. And here's the thing. Jimmy Garoppolo in a shootout, I've never heard words that I would ever think I would take him in a shootout. So I'm going to take over, because I think that Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel are going to have to do some crazy shit to keep the Niners in this game. I think it stays close the whole way. So I'm going to take the over.
Okay. In the other game of the week here, we have Chiefs at Mike's Bengals. KC 1-point favorites, over under 53 points. You already know how I feel. I had KC win this game. Oh, not KC. I'm just saying win this game outright. I think KC is due for a letdown game. That time of year. Oh, December. A little letdown. They've been playing so well the last like month or so. Time for letdown. Starts here. And the Bengals get Chase back this week, too. Jamar Chase.
I feel disrespected that you said that they're going to win the game because Kansas City's going to have a letdown.
Well, on top of everything else, too. I mean,
disrespected.
Oh, come on.
So you think Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have forgotten about what happened in that second half of the AFC Championship game?
Of course not.
I think Kansas City's going to do everything they can to do to run up the score.
Let me say this real quick. The bet is the over. That's the bet. I'm taking the over in the game overall. I'm just telling you, I think KC Cincinnati would win this game outright.
I think you're right about the over, but screw that. I'm taking Kansas City to win and win big.
Wow. All right. Mike?
Pat Mahomes can think about it all he wants.
That's the home.
Pat Mahomes can live in that nightmare for the rest of his life, just like having a dancing brother that's famous on TikTok. Because guess what? Patrick Mahomes in the second half against the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC title game was hot fucking garbage.
It really was.
And guess what? Nobody wants to remember that. You want to know why? Because it's Patrick Lamar Mahomes III Esquire. Well, guess what? Patrick Mahomes just had a kid. What happens whenever you have a kid? You don't sleep very much. Welcome to your nightmare, Patrick. Welcome back to hell.
The second kid, right? Is the second kid or his first kid?
This is his first son.
Okay.
That he named the third or the fourth, whatever it is.
Oh.
But guess what? Welcome to your nightmare. Your nightmare is Trey Hendrickson. Your nightmare is the Cincinnati defense again. Give him PTSD all over again. Give me the goddamn Houday. Let's go.
All right. A few more games here. We got the Chargers at Raiders.
Oh, by the way, the Chiefs signed Melvin Gordon to their practice squad. He could be the fucking piece to help now that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Fuck.
Let's hold on to the fucking ball. Hold on to the ball. Chargers at Raiders. It is a pick'em. Over-under is 50.5.
How is this game a pick'em?
Because Raiders, you know why? The Raiders won 2 in a row. That's why.
Because Josh Jacobs ran for 7,000 yards in 2 games.
Yeah, that and then the Raiders have won 2 in a row quietly, both in overtime, just for the record. Kind of feel like the Chargers are about to go on a little run here. They're getting healthier finally. Chargers here. I think they've been so banged up this year, and with all the narratives going to the AFC in general, they've kind of gone a little under the radar just a bit. I think the Chargers are going to start running some folks who they are a little bit. Look, I'm not saying the Super Bowl team, all that, but I think they're going to battle for the last playoff spot in the AFC. Well, that's 2 spots, I say, in the AFC. So give me the Chargers here to win this game outright. Zach?
For all that is wrong with the Raiders, I think they are the cure for what is wrong with the Chargers coach. So give me the Chargers. I don't think no matter what that coach tries to do on 4th and 2, however many times he wants to go for it, will the Raiders screw him up. So I think this will be an easy victory.
Okay. Mike?
What was the over-under?
Over is 50.5.
Give me the over.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Vegas likes to score points. The Chargers like to score points. Neither one of them loves to play defense. 28, 35-28. Let's go. Shoot out the OK Corral.
I can see that. All right. Sunday football. Go ahead, Mike. Throw up. Thank you. Colts at Cowboys. I'm making plans, obviously. Cowboys, 29-point favorites. Over under 43.5.
You know what? At the end of the day, I have to give a major shout out to Roger Goodell of the National Football League and the scheduling committee. Because, whenever I look at a schedule back in, early June, it really fucking chaps my ass. Sunday night football game, the Indianapolis Colts, Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't had enough good opponents that you could have put on Sunday night. You have to say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put Matt Ryan in another fucking primetime game. What the fuck are we doing?
And this is lazy because they know that because the Cowboys fan base is the biggest in the NFL, they're gonna get people watching the game anyway, regardless of who they're playing. That's why I didn't touch it. Give me Dallas cover this game. Colts are done. Zach?
I think that fan base is the reason why it didn't get flexed out.
Oh, I know that. No, I'm just saying. What I said was that they should have never put this game to begin with. If you're looking at the schedule going,
but preseason, this was Earnest's AFC
South winner,
division winner versus the NFC East division winner. So this was what was supposed to happen.
What I'm saying is, with the National Football League decided, you know what? Let's put the schedule together for this week in the National Football League. Give us Dolphins, Niners, and Bengals, Chiefs, and they shrugged their shoulders and said, "Fuck it, give me Dallas and Indianapolis in the fucking night game."
I take the Cowboys to cover.
And Mike, what you got?
Is Kellen Moore going to play quarterback for the Cowboys in this game after they get up by 3 scores? Fucking Indianapolis is hot garbage.
Dallas, it is for you too. And we got some breaking news here. The Rose Bowl has signed an agreement that will allow college football playoff to expand to 12 teams in 2024 and 2025.
Here's the thing, because if they didn't, the Rose Bowl just wasn't going to be a part of the fucking playoffs anymore. Yeah. They were moving on without him fucking regardless.
Because no one gives a fuck about the Rose Bowl anymore.
Yeah, they were going to 12 whether you were with us or against us. So
exactly.
Thanks for fucking joining on the Express.
Hell yeah. Can't wait for 12 teams. I can't wait. And finally, Monday Night Football, we have the Saints at the Bucks. The Bucks are 4-point favorites. The over under 40.5. NFC South is so fucking bad. God.
I get it. It's Tom Brady, but this is another one with this fucking slate of games. Where you're just like, fuck it. We're just gonna be lazy as fuck.
I honestly want to know how are the Bucks not favored by more?
Because the vaulted 49ers offense only scored 13 points on this
right, season. And the Bucks are much worse than the Niners are. So
I mean, to be honest, it's literally because of how good New Orleans defense played last week against the 49ers. Like that's why this isn't like 8-10.
And the Saints have low-key owned the Bucks last couple of years too. So I mean, but that being said, man, I'll take a slight over on this one. I feel like we get a couple pick sixes here or something. I don't know, but give me a slight over 40.5. Zach,
give me the under. I think this is gonna be a sad, pathetic game.
Like this past Mondays?
No, that game at least had scoring.
Oh yeah, in hindsight, I'm saying
like hot garbage. The teams that were in it, but when you put hot garbage against hot garbage, sometimes it can be entertaining. That game was at least mildly entertaining. This is the hot garbage versus hot garbage. that's disrespectful to hot garbage. I'm with Zach. I'm taking the fucking under. There's this final score could literally be 9-3.
It was 2 years ago. It was 9-0. Remember?
Plethora.
Well, 2 years ago it was 9-0. Remember?
You know what? Let's run it back. You know what? Even better. Final score. Give me the Saints 2, the Buccaneers 3. Let's fucking go.
Change my pick. I'm going under as well. Changing it. Fuck it.
No, fuck you.
You're not allowed. You are not allowed.
My fucking show. No, I'll stay. I'll leave it over. I'll leave it over. This is for the fucking argument's sake. Let's see what happens.
The argument's sake, they literally fucking 13. They couldn't score a point against the goddamn 49ers. And you're like, fuck it. I'm feeling the over.
So, Ernest, next time around, when you need help with the pick, you let us go before you.
Yeah.
Then you can just pick whatever you want.
Exactly. That makes more sense.
All right. Go ahead, Mike.
So since the Rose Bowl figured it out, okay, and they're gonna move forward next season. 12 teams. Like if you had to take the 12 teams right now out of this year. 4 get a bye, obviously. So the top 4 are going to end up getting a bye, and then you have the dilemma of 6 through 12 are going to play each other. The fact that Penn State would be like a home team in the first round is hot garbage.
Yeah,
hot garbage.
Although you would think that by Selection Sunday that some of those teams will probably
because here's the thing: if the top 4 stays the same. Kansas State falls more, Utah falls more, so now you're looking at the standings and you're looking like your home teams in the first round are Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, Penn State. Clemson would play Penn State unless you flip them, and then it'd be at Clemson. And then you'd have like Kansas State, Tennessee, Utah, Alabama, and Ohio State versus Washington.
Zach, it will suck is that we would miss it by a game by we're 13. We're 13.
No, because say y'all are right with the USC and TC winning. Well, after those wins and Clemson winning, guess what would happen? Florida State would slide right in to the top 12
and lose.
I'm all good with that.
Hey, show some respect, goddammit. Don't start your shit. I want to touch on
the ship in the air, man.
I'm excited with this shit, though.
Leave with the championship.
All right, before I go, I want to touch on one baseball thing we get out here. Rumor came out today, according to ESPN, the Yankees offer Aaron Judge an 8-year deal in the neighborhood of $300 million.
How much?
$300 million. 8 years. Your thoughts, Mike?
They don't even want to touch $40 million a year for him.
Okay.
They want to stay at the $35 million or less.
So this would be, if this number is actually correct, $37 million will be the average on that. So yeah, $40 million. That we still shy of $40 million. Do you think someone pays the amount of years he wants and the money he wants? And who was it? San Francisco? Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you were.
I think he ends up in San Francisco.
Yeah,
but I think San Francisco is going to be smarter about it.
They might go 8 years, 320, 8 years, 330, pay him over 40, and just be able to walk away before he hits age 40.
Well, it's also one of those things where if you're San Francisco, you have to look at your window. Is your window right now? You just lost Carlos Rondon to free agency. He's probably not coming back. So these first 2 years of Aaron Judge being a member of the San Francisco Giants, I would probably pay him more. I would pay him 45, 47 these first 2 years.
Front load it, you're saying.
And slowly start declining it so that, look, in 2 years when Shohei Ohtani becomes a free agent or when, a superstar that you can pair with Aaron Judge to help build your fucking team. Now you have a little bit more flexibility. The problem is whenever you anchor this into fucking $45 or $40 million a year every year, and that's your hit number. There are teams that aren't going to do what the Dodgers do and just say fuck it and pay the luxury tax. It's just I don't think the Giants are built that way. I don't think they're just like fuck it, we're going to pay 80% interest on what we're over the cap. I just don't think that they're going to do that. I would front load it if I knew we weren't going to be great to get him there and know that you could build a superstar around him. But I think here's where the problem presides, and it's not with Judge. I'm going to say with the Yankees organization, they gave too much money to Garrett Cole, and now they're kind of like, well, what do we do? Because we can go over, but we're going to go over for the next 5 years while we have Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge under contract, and we've got to find a way to move the fucking contract to Josh Donaldson, which nobody's going to fucking take off of their hands. You got to find a way. You're going to pay Anthony Rizzo. You just paid him. You still have Aaron Hicks's bad contract on the books. And you got to figure out what you're going to do with pitchers after Garrett Cole. I've said it from the very beginning that if the Yankees were to move on, you move on, but you move on by going and getting pieces to fill the rest of the roster. You got to go get a couple more starting pitchers. You got to go get another outfielder to take Judge's spot.
Alexa, turn off the Christmas tree.
As my wife decides that she's so impatient. I think he ends up with the San Francisco Giants. I think the bigger question here, the Astros just signed Jose Abreu to a contract. They're an interesting thought process on what they decide to do. Because here's the thing. Wouldn't you have thought the first thing you would do as the defending world champions is bring back the ace of your rotation?
Yeah.
Now you're like, you know what? Fuck it, Justin. Go get a contract with the Yankees.
Yeah, I think they might have already talked to him before the season ended. There's a chance he may have decided he doesn't want to be there any longer, or he may just want to up and retire.
I think he pitches again in 2023. I think there's one of two places that he ends up.
Oh, if he pitches again, I think it's with the Mets, not with the Yankees.
That's if DeGrom leaves.
No, I was going to say I think he ends up in New York, either one of them, or he ends up in either of the LAs because of Kate Upton wanting to be in New York or LA for her stuff. I think Justin Verlander does the exact thing that Giselle wanted Tom to do. I think Justin actually sucks it up and does what Kate wants. I think he ends up in New York or LA, and I think he's going to be just happy knowing that he won 2 world championships in Houston, and he's ready to fucking just do whatever to make Kate happy, move on with it, and be Justin the guy. And I think he's fucking smarter than hell for doing it. I think DeGrom still ends up in Atlanta. I haven't seen much movement any way, shape, or form, but I still think DeGrom ends up in Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know if the Braves sign a major pitcher. They need some help at the plate.
Well, they can get that. They can get a catcher. They could go get Wilson Contreras, who's a free agent, if they wanted him. They could go trade. They could go trade for. There's a couple of different catchers available via trade. If Carlos Correa or one of the shortstops doesn't end up in Minnesota and they decide to nuke it, you can go get Mitch Garver. There's pieces that Atlanta could get to help the catching position that you can trade a asset that you have, because you do have a plethora of prospects that you could move one of them to go get a decent catcher. I just think that when it comes to here's your shot to go all in, like you go get DeGrom, even if you only give him 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just me personally, if I was a GM, he's one of those players I would never risk giving a contract to. I'd rather give Verlander 45 than offer even 25 million. Because
it all depends on what the years are. I'm not giving you more than 2 or 3 years.
Oh, I'm talking on just a 1-year contract. If I had to offer both those guys 1 year, I would pray Verlander takes my 1 year 45 over DeGrom, begging DeGrom to take 25.
That's gonna be a play going forward with all these older guys anyway. Is taking these 1 or 2 year contracts and just getting front loaded and just cash out that way.
That's what Trevor Bauer was trying to do with the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are in a rough spot right now. Rough. Justin Turner gone. Trey Turner gone.
Good.
paying Clayton Kershaw. Like,
But they're catching a huge break.
Yeah, but is he on the 1 year deal now? Kershaw is on 1 year deal now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But you're still paying for a guy who's going to make 22 starts.
That's 20 more than DeGrom.
It's probably about 10 more than DeGrom. I mean, because here's the thing. If I'm the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw doesn't touch fucking baseball until like July.
I could live with that.
I wouldn't pitch him until July. Just let him go hang out and surf or something. We'll see you in July.
Well, hell, didn't Kershaw have like 3 no-hitters going into the 8th inning this past year?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, technically the Mets had that though with DeGrom. He didn't play fucking lick of baseball till July.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you have enough pieces to fill the rotation, I wouldn't do it. Okay, my light just shut off.
Just what?
My wife just hit the thing with her phone.
Oh, okay.
I just say that I would tell you, if you have a guy like Kershaw, you have a guy like DeGrom, and you have the pieces to not have to use them until July, fine. Don't fucking get through April, May, and June, and I'll see you July 1st. That's like trading for a piece at the deadline.
And if I'm an MLB GM, I'm saving all of my money for next year when Ohtani is a free agent. And then I'm just saying, how much do you want? And I'm just writing that check.
I think that's what the Dodgers are trying to do. I think they're trying to get under the cap this year to get him to go to the other LA next year.
That would be genius if they could do that.
Because if they can reset and not have to pay the fucking 95% interest on the luxury tax this year, I think that's exactly what they would love to do. I mean, they non-tendered Cody Bellinger, who is a 26 or 27-year-old outfielder. I get it. The guy's lost his swing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he hasn't hit 200 in 2 years.
I mean, the fucking Oakland A's paid Chris Davis for fucking 5 years, and the guy hit 212 with like 40 home runs. The fact is, if Cody Bellinger could hit 40 home runs, nobody's going to give a fuck if he hits 212.
No, well, Bellinger couldn't hit 15 this year.
I mean, Howard.
I personally think that the best thing for Cody Bellinger is to not be in LA.
No, I agree.
Fuck, you know what? Go put his ass in like Colorado and let him hit in fucking altitude for the next fucking 2 years.
Put his ass down in Miami where they need someone who can swing for a fence. We got one guy who can hit more than 10 home runs on the squad.
I mean, honestly, if I was the Marlins, I would have already been spending money. I would have went and got one of the shortstops. I would have signed Bellinger. I'd have been figuring shit out.
Explain to me, how do you buy a team for $1.2 billion and not be able to afford a single free agent in 3 years?
Because they spent all the money to buy the organization.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah. They went bankrupt buying the fucking organization. That's the problem. Because here's the thing. You have the Cy Young Award winner leading your rotation. Go get him some goddamn help. Like, do something.
For real.
We would have an insane pitching staff, just starting 3 rotation, if he wouldn't have traded Zack Gallen for Jazz Chisholm.
I actually don't hate that trade. I don't hate that trade.
Are you?
I like that.
Had like a 2.5 ERA over the last 2 seasons, whereas finally Chisholm learned how to at least hit a home run.
Right.
Yeah, but the way I look at it is he was also pitching against a really bad Colorado team a lot, a really bad Giants team a lot. I think the game,
pretty stacked Padres team and a Dodgers.
Well, no, this year the Padres are good. The last 2 years the Padres were overrated as fuck.
Yeah. This is fact.
They didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
You don't know who I'm talking about, so you be quiet, Ernest.
I don't hate that trade as much as I hated being duped that they were actually going to do something like with the Jose Reyes, Mark Burley signings, where they were we're all in, we're going to fucking go spend money. We're going to make this team a winner, and then you trade him the next year to the Blue Jays for goddamn nothing.
Traded one of them before the first season of the contract was out. I think it was Mark Burley. It was like, hey, Mark, we feel really bad.
You know what? We're gonna send you to Toronto. Have fun.
And on that note, fellas, good luck with your picks. Great job. And obviously, we'll react to the official college football rankings.
Go Frogs.
Definitely go Frogs. Absolutely.